Good day, and thank you once more for joining me again today. Today I would like to talk to you about staff and volunteers. My name is Johan, and I would like to take this time just to put a little bit of emphasis on your staff and for volunteers who is going to help you in your technical department. The technical crew is always overlooked. People do not value their valuability, if I can say that. And they are really, really valuable in your church because at the end of the day, they make all the equipment work and they need to know how to do it. And you can't take any person just to be a sound engineer or a lighting operator or assisting in the audiovisual department. They need some form of skill and training. And I would like to take this time to show you a little bit how you should approach your crew in the church, because really it is very, very important, because you can't rotate every service for crew because it's just it's a skill. You don't have that much skill inside your church, and if you do, you're really, really blessed. But in our industry, especially in the audiovisual department, the skill is very, very, very rare. There's not a lot of audiovisual engineers in our country or in the world, due to the fact in South Africa, I don't know of one place where you can go and study audiovisual. I had to learn everything by friends or colleagues, where I have to ask questions, I had to Google, and personal experience. So there's no ways of becoming a real audio engineer and get accreditation in this country. You are pretty much rated in the work, what you can do, and what types of shows you can pull off. And that's very, very important. You need to acknowledge your crew, and that you need to know they need skill, and you need skills development. That's very, very important. You need to invest in them. And because obviously the technical crew is not the same as being an usher or helping at the information desk or being part of a greetings committee. They can rotate every Sunday, but with your crew, your technical crew, they are dedicated people. This is a calling for them because they have to be there every Sunday. You can rotate certain crew members, but most of the key ones, they have to be there every single Sunday. They need to know how to operate the equipment. They need to know what to do if something goes wrong. Fault finding is a skill, and they need to develop that. So I would like to talk to you right now a little bit more about all the technicians and how you need to approach them. If you invest in a mediocre sound system and you have a extremely good sound engineer, he can make that PA sound to the best of its abilities. But if you have the best sound system and you have a mediocre sound engineer, you're only going to have mediocre audio. So what I want to say is, the person who's your sound engineer, he needs to know what he's doing. He needs to be qualified. He needs to have experience. He is going to determine what your audio is going to sound like. He is going to do the mixes. He's going to do all the EQs. He's going to do everything with the band. He needs to be interacting with the band as well. So you don't really want to rotate him that much, because obviously he needs to build a relationship with the band, and he needs to know how the band works and what they want to do. So your sound engineer is very, very important. So if you currently have a person helping you on the soundboard and he's not that qualified, but he's very determined and he wants to learn, I would say invest in him. Send him for courses. Help him to grow into this ministry. It is really, really a privilege and an honor to serve God in the church. But the technical department is a calling. And help him to grow into this calling. Help him to learn how the equipment works. If you can find any way of forms of helping him to find material to learn more about sound, please do. As much as possible, help him to grow into this ministry. It will definitely be good to have at least one full-time staff member on your church board, due to the fact that the technical runs every single Sunday, and that makes the church run. So I almost want to say a senior technician is pretty much as important as a pastor or assisting pastor in a church, due to the fact that he is also there to make the church run on a Sunday. So I want to say that you need to invest in him. You need to try to get one person, at least one person, on board, and the person who's on board needs to oversee all the technical equipment. He needs to have a general knowledge of sound, lighting, and AV, which is a lot what he needs to learn, but he will grow into it and he will learn your system. And please, YouTube is a huge resource. Most of my experience comes also from YouTube, where I just YouTube videos over and over and over, and I learn. So YouTube is a really good source to go and get some new information. If you look at your lighting operator, you need a person who needs to know how lights work, how a desk work. You need at least one person who can do that. And then he needs to program your lighting console. This is what I usually used to do. I will get my lighting team, and they will run lighting on a Sunday. But during the week, I would have programmed a few scenes for praise. Say, for instance, like 6 scenes for praise and 6 scenes for worship. And then I will create some chasers on faders or flash buttons. And you will play a scene, and during the song, you will do some chasers just to go with a beat and get the people hyped up. So if you do that, then your desk is set up. And then your volunteers can come in, and you can tell them, okay, this is your house light, that is your front light, this is your praise channel where you just will create like a cue stack, and this is your worship channel, which you also will create a cue stack. These faders are like your color chasers, and these flash buttons are your beam chasers. So that's what you can do, and then it's not that hard. So then you can quickly train a person up, like 1-2 Sundays, and he'll be trained up, and he can run your lighting. And when you need to do changes, then the person can just, during the week, the full-time staff member can, during the week, he can just do the changes. Now, the problem with AV, so sound, you need one person, lighting, you need one person. But now you come to your audiovisual department, and this is a little bit of a problem always, because you don't need one person. Say, for instance, you've got 3 cameras, you have a vision mixer, you have a person who needs to operate lyrics, and you need a person to do switching if you have a switcher. So that's about 7 people already, what you need just on the AV side. And you can't expect a person to run 3 services on one Sunday, so you need to rotate that as well. And you can't expect everybody to be there every Sunday, so you need a crew. The bigger the church, obviously, then you will have more people to volunteer. And on the camera side, you have to train the people. You have to train them how the camera operates. You need to show them how to pan smoothly and zoom in, zoom out, and do framing. Because framing is very important when it comes to camera. You need to know what's leading room. You need to know what's headroom. You need to know you're breaking up your screen into thirds. So you need to know all these little things, and you need to train them in that area. There you're going to need training. The software, what you run in your church, the person needs to know how it works, and all of the equipment needs to be able to be managed by somebody, and they need to have a good knowledge of all your equipment. So this is very important. You need a person in your technical department who's really passionate about tech, and then use him and train him. Send him for courses. Send him wherever you can. He needs to go for sound courses, lighting courses. If there's any form of AV, he needs to try to find courses on AV. If you can, send him for he's working on heights, because you need a person to do that. But you have a person for working on heights. So with working on heights, he needs his medical as well. So a medical you have to do once a year, and he needs to do that as well. So this is very important, that you really do invest in the people who are going to operate your technical department. But on another note, if you have your full-time staff, the volunteers, all of these people fall under the senior pastor. As soon as they help in the church, they become the senior pastor's responsibility. So this is very important, that the senior pastor always remember that he needs to keep their well-being and their safety in consideration. If you need to do additional work in the church, a volunteer can't climb a scaffold if he is not registered as working on heights, if he does not have a working on heights certificate. Because if he falls down there, it is the senior pastor's responsibility. So yes, he can help maybe from the floor, but he does need the full PPE. He does need safety boots, hard hat, gloves. He does need those things. He has to wear those. So whoever comes ever into a designated area where there's work, they have to comply to the OSH Act, as we have spoken in the first session. If you bring on a contractor to do some contract work on the church, he needs to have all the certifications that he can do the work, what you employed him to do. If he does not have it and he's doing it and there's an accident, it can fall on the senior pastor. So please, we need to always remember, whoever walks onto the church and do any work for the church, they do fall under the senior pastor's responsibility. So the senior pastor's responsibility is just make it safe. Okay, sometimes people are do neglect things and they do get hurt. So also speak to your technical person that he does like a quick briefing, that he does a toolbox talk. A toolbox talk is all about just telling people, okay, listen here, let's work safe, let's do this. Maybe that's a good place where everybody comes together, do a quick toolbox talk and quickly pray over the service, and then they can go in and serve. But yeah, I think this is pretty much what I currently wanted to talk to you about in this whole module. This for me is really, really something special. And I really hope these past few sessions really helped you and it just enlightened you a little bit more about what's happening in the technical life of a church. That it can just really help you to elaborate and just build your technical department to the best of your ability. And remember, it always, the tech needs to draw the attention to Jesus. If it doesn't, then we are missing the mark. So please, if there's any questions, any worries, please leave comments, like, share. You can email me again at johan@blueye.co.za. If you do require any training, we can arrange that for you. So please feel free that we can interact. And I really, truly hope God will bless you and that the gospel will truly just spread to all corners of the earth. God bless you.